Morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Friday. Yes. Wow, we had a big monsoon roll through the valley early this morning. One of the trees down here at the office, it's always had a lean to it, and today it leaned right over and right onto the wall of the parking lot. Yeah. Well, that's what the HOA is. I guess that's what the HOA is for. But it was right in my parking spot too, so perfect. So I had to park in a new spot today. But hey, you know what? Live life, right? And try something new. So I'm trying a new parking spot out. Our toll-free number 800-951-0592. This is where the winners are. Yep. And on this Friday, sit back, relax, strap on that seatbelt, and leave the driving to us because we've got it. Who are the winners going to be? It's going to be gold. It's going to be silver. It's going to be digital crypto, right? Texit coin that we're looking really, really good there. To get involved, 800-951-0592. We had some data. So yesterday, right, we had that PPI, that producer prices, outrageous, roaring inflation there. We don't know. Are they going to pass it to the consumer? We'll find out. Don't know. Today we got retail sales. And it was good. It was. It's really hard to cut these rates. It really is. I mean, it's not the right thing to do. How about that? It's not the right thing to do. But at the same time, it's not the wrong thing to do because there is no right thing. There is, and Jason, we've been saying this for several years. There are out of good answers. There are no more good answers. They've screwed it up so much. They've wrecked the dollar. Wrecked it. China doesn't want it. Not even Japan wants it. The whole world doesn't want it. You know what they want to do? How many dollars can I get away with? I got to have them still because, we built this whole financial system globally around this dollar. And now they're like, okay, how many dollars can I get rid of without hurting what we've already had? In other words, the slow unwind. People thought, remember the carry trade? I don't know. Some of you do, some of you don't.
Oh, yeah.
That thing's going to blow up epically, and it will do it within the next 12 months. How's that? But we are on the unwinding, of the dollar. That's what's happening. Now, God, you cannot get away. Can't get away from people saying, when are they going to, they're going to revalue gold. They're going to revalue gold. They're going to revalue. It used to pop up, like, we've talked about potential gold revaluation because you can't get away from it. And maybe you see an article once a month. Now it's every 2 or 3 days. There's another one again today. Why? Because the dollar is wrecked. It's wrecked. Let's review, okay? They just told us, just in the last month, that the GDP was 2.5%. That's what they said. And that's not bad. The unemployment rate, okay, what is it, 4.142? I think it's 4.2. Which outside of the COVID era would be a really good number, but nowhere close. Remember, they used to worry when it got close to 5. So at 4.2. Jobless claims, we just got jobless claims. What, 225,000? That's not bad. We had CPI. The headline was 2.7. And then the core, the super core, they were outrageous, right? Way into the 3s. So you'd say, okay, well, that probably means you shouldn't cut rates. Then we have PPI up 0.9% month over month. That's unheard of. That is unheard of. The only time we ever saw a number bigger than that was COVID. Remember when they just, here's an avalanche of money. And then retail sales today. Oh, it was in line, up 0.5. 0.5 is good. That's good. That's a good number. And yet they're saying we've got to cut the rate. The Treasury Secretary is saying we've got to go 50 basis points, and I want to be at 1.5%. The president, he wants them to go a full point, and he wants to be at 1%. How can they both be right? They're not. They're both wrong. Does 2 wrongs make a right? Guess what? Still doesn't. Patriot Radio News Hour. Why you listen right here. Come back if you can take it. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason. Let's take a quick look in at the markets here. The Dow's up 60. The S&P's down 13. The Nasdaq's down 74. The 10-year note, yeah, 431. Why? Inflation's hot. 0.5 on retail sales. That's not a bad number. Crude oil at 63.50. Gold is up in right now 33.44. Silver not up yet, but getting ready. Was down, now coming right back. 37.90. And yesterday, we had 20s on sale, $10 Liberties on sale, below spot. And I ended up, so I come into today, I've got 2 more 20s than what I started. We sold some, but then we bought more than we sold. So I actually got 12 20s. Yesterday I only had 10, and we sold some, but we bought more than we sold. We're going to do them below spot. Right now, spot's 33.44. I got 12 20s at 33.40. Here's the other thing. I had 20 $10 Liberties. And I said, you know what? We're going to do the same thing. Whether you buy 2 10s or 1 20, right? With $1,670 below spot. And then I said, you should buy the 20s first. Didn't I say that? I think I said it. In my mind, I said it. They didn't. Right? Buy the 10s first. Why? Get 2 10s. You have 2 gold coins instead of 1. Right? They revalue gold to 10 grand. You may not want to sell a 20 for 10 grand, right? You may say, here's a 10, give me 5.
Right.
Right? You know, I guess I'm at this point where some of you out there are like, hey, we want less Texit. Why? You guys want to buy Texit? Nobody's been, I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand the lack of interest. Listen, I know all the big guys are buying it up massively, and this is kind of the issue with it, right, Jason? Which is a lot of people are, oh, well, it's just expensive, Joe. It's expensive.
Yeah.
Right? It's not.
No.
Actually, let me tell you right now, this is $300. This is 22 years ago all over again.
Yeah, I mean.
It is.
There's so many people selling gold and silver right now. 2024 and 2025, even part of 2023, we just have tons of sellers. And then we're just one gold outfit, right, Joe? The wholesalers, the distributors, they have a glut of all of this. When there's this much selling on the retail level, we have to aggressively price when we're buying, because the guys that we have to dump it to, if we're not selling it to you guys, the wholesalers, they're getting loaded up with this stuff. I just saw an article last week. A lot of 20s, pre-33 gold is being sent to the smelters. They're melting them. Well, if the smelters are being sold the gold, that's the lowest price. Those guys pay the least. You know, they have a business that requires them to melt it down into these 100-ounce gold bars for the big players that are actually keeping the price high, which shows you what they're buying. And, Joe, it's a buyer's market. If you need to sell, great. It's kind of a trick for sellers, because the sellers come in, and Joe and I tell them, we're way below spot, because if we can't sell it, we have to ship it to guys that are going to give us less than spot. And so the people are selling to us, they don't get too angry, but it's like, well, it's like, well, if you would have sold 3 years ago, we were above spot. At one point, we were buying Silver Eagles for $10 over spot. We had this buyer, the seller's market going on. Well, that's just not the case. And so, so we buy it for whatever under spot. Oh, I'm getting $3,000 or $3,100, whatever for a 20. Well, if you would have sold it 3 years ago, you would have gotten above spot. If spot was $1,800, maybe we give you $1,800, maybe we give you $1,900. It's still $1,200 less. So Joe, it's kind of a catch-22 to these sellers. You know, hey, you didn't sell 3 years ago. Well, congratulations, you're getting more now. However, since everybody is selling, and for many reasons, Joe, I've been at the radio station for a while now, back in charge here, and even the couple of holdouts, there was a couple of holdout businesses that were doing really well earlier this year. Both of them were telling me that not quite as good. By the way, our sponsors on the Half Empty Cup of Joe, Tahibo Tea, Warriors Revolution, those are the last two businesses that said, things are pretty healthy. And in the last month or two, they're like, no, people aren't buying. No one's buying. None of the advertisers doing really well. Sales are not doing great, Joe. Everybody's selling. Everybody needs it. And if you got it, you better put it somewhere. And why are we doing tax it? It's a great way to capitalize on that money that's just sitting there doing nothing, Joe. Gold is sitting there doing nothing. It's savings. It's protected savings. It goes up with the inflation. Tax it is an investment, and it's bringing great returns, Joe.
I'll just say this. The dollar is on the edge here. I know you don't want to believe it, and I get it. A lot of people, they love what Trump has done. They love it. And it's all great. Sure, I guess. Rounding up people at Home Depot, great. And sending out the National Guard into D.C., I guess, great. I don't know. Close the border, great. Terrorists, great. Talk tough, great. Yeah, cut the rates, great. Gosh, what a setup. Everything I see every day. Boy, the retail investors just won't stop buying, right? They're going to buy the stock, buy the stock, buy the stock, buy the stock. It's going to end bad. I'm just telling you. University of Michigan today. This one caught me off guard because this is the rah-rah Trump. Right? The Democrats hate it, right? The Republicans will love it. It's been on a tear. Fell off a cliff. Why? You're not going to believe this. People are worrying about inflation again. And this is funny because they did this before we got CPI. They did this before we got PPI yesterday. you can sit there and say there's no inflation. Donald Trump can tell you there's no inflation all he wants. It's just not true. It's not. Thankfully, gas prices are lower. And lower in Arizona, at least in Phoenix, is $3.29. That's lower. That ain't low. It's not low, but it's lower. It's something where, and again, I'm not criticizing Donald Trump at all. He's made a decision. What's the decision? I want to run hot. That was his decision. What does that mean? I want to throw everything in the kitchen sink at the economy. Period. End of discussion. You cut the rates down to nothing. We got the checkbook out, and we're gonna go bazooka. Okay. Has that ever worked? Ever. It's never worked. Will we get a little growth out of it for a little while? I hope. But it's only going to be a little while. It's just idiotic thinking that we can grow our way out of it. Listen, we went from a debt of $400 billion in 1971. We now got a debt. Well, they're admitted to 37.2, but we don't listen. They got $500 million. They got to put. I mean, we're almost at 38 and going to be close to 39 trillion when the year's over. How the hell haven't we grown out of it? We've never grown out of it. And a matter of fact, the longer they do this game, the less the reward.
You know, I guess from a certain point of view, Joe, if you're massively wealthy, if you're the upper crust, you sort of do grow your way out of it.
You love it.
You grow your way out of it, and as long as they're growing their way out of it, it was a success. They don't care if you grow your way out of it. It doesn't matter if the GDP sucks. Just as long as the positive part of the GDP for the actual individual, you know, the Elon Musks of the world, as long as their GDP is up, right, Joe? As long as they've grown their way out of it, you know, to hell with the rest of you, right? That's the way it is. It's two different worlds.
I'll say this. Let's just say that because it's Donald Trump, okay, because I know a lot of people believe that Donald's different and he's going to be able to do it, right? You know, right. What about after Trump?
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask. Well, you're like, well, that's 3 years away. Not really. What do you mean, not really? Well, remember, the last year, everyone, oh, God. Right, it's over. And then you start getting, what are you going to have? J.D. Vance? No offense. Right? What is it going to be? AOC?
What was that?
Who's going to be on the other side? I don't even know. I'm trying to even picture the fat governor from Illinois. I don't know.
What was that term they came up with, Joe? Lame duck?
Lame duck.
Lame duck starts in year two.
And I'll say this, listen, guys. If they don't get the midterm.
They won't.
Then it's
2 years of lame duck.
1 year left. You got 1 year left.
Yep.
Buy your gold and silver now, please. Why am I begging?
We care about you.
Because I know what the price is. I know what the price is going to be, and it's not going to be 4,000. It's not going to be 5,000. Sorry, I hate to say it. I think silver is going to be $100. I've never admitted that out loud, I don't think, ever. I know other people have said it's going to be $100. Right? Not me. No, it's going to be.
Well, you knew that a 10th ounce gold eagle would be $400 someday, but it still surprises you when that day shows up.
Yeah, it's here. $20 gold pieces below spot at $33.40. Only got a dozen. How did I have more today than I did yesterday? $10 gold pieces. Okay, I'm going to say this again. You want to buy the 10s first. There are also 2 10s, $33.40. Is that 1670? Whatever that is. 1670. Public school, right? $33.40. 800-951-0592. The plan is inflation. Period. Why do I say that? Because not only are they printing ungodly amounts of money, they're going to lower the rates. It's not like inflation's at 2%. It's actually, let's be honest, they are admitting to 3, which means it's 6. I mean, that hasn't changed. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Friday. Let's see what happens as well. Let's just say this. Things are going to continue to get very interesting because the United States, and listen, Donald Trump didn't do this. We got bamboozled in the early 1900s. Creature from Jekyll Island. The bankers, literally, they're smart. They just loaded the Congress and gave us the central bank. Gave us the income tax, too. Shh. Yeah. Crooks. They're nothing more than crooks. They devalue your money and then lie to us that they didn't. That's just the facts. Yesterday we talked about to be in the top 10%, you have to have $500,000 in your retirement account when you hit retirement. Think about that. It takes you 40 years to do it. Then 9 out of every 10 people, it's not even close. What is the average 401k? 100 grand? Well, no, because averages gets disputed because of the big money. Let's go median. Is it even 100 grand? You all know 100 grand's nothing anymore. That's how sad it is. Gosh, in the early 1990s, if I had 100 grand, I'd have been like, man, I am so stinking rich. It's ridiculous. It's an embarrassment, and we take it. I'm tired of taking it. It took us a while, but Jason, we got this thing figured out. For those of you that busted your ass to get that 500 grand, you call me right now and you buy as much gold and silver as you can. Protect it. Because here's the thing. 5 years from now, you can still have the 500 grand. 10 years from now, you can still have the 500 grand. What's it going to buy you? Could you imagine everybody 22 years ago when I started on the radio? And you had taken $500,000 and bought gold at $300. I mean, let's just say gold was 300. So let's say the 20s were 350. right? That would have been 1,429 20s, right? Today, let's just do 3,000, right? That'd be $4.2 million. What would you rather have? 500,000? Because you got to remember, most of that 20-some-odd years, the banks didn't pay you any interest, and we're getting ready to go back to no interest. What would you rather have? That's all I'm asking. Because guess what? $3,340 gold, there's like $340 gold. The problem is it won't take 20 years this time. What happens? We know this, right? The time seems to get cut in half. Yeah, so in the next 10 years, is gold going to be revalued at 30,000? Don't laugh. That's all I'm telling you. Don't laugh at it. Don't laugh at it. That's how big this problem is going to be. Now what? Now you better find something that you can really have an opportunity to get yourself some financial income, because you are going to need it. Listen, Social Security's a dead man walking. Medicare and Medicaid are dead men walking. Period. And we all know what they're going to do. They're going to raise taxes because they're going to have to. They're going to try to make sure they don't give you any benefit at all. Right? You're going to need it. They lie about Social Security, so these cost of living adjustments aren't going to do you jack squat. I'll just say this. Texas coin so far has proven to be just that. Yesterday, we told you it averages about $4.50 a day per 100 hash. What does 100 hash cost? $995, right? So the math says in 221 days, you would have your money back, right? But of course they say, well, we actually do better than 4.5. It's worst case be 180. 99% of the people, it's 120 days or less. And for people that sign up other people, it's way less than that. But just think about this. Would you take $995 and then somebody said, hey, I'll give you $1,650 a year for the rest of your life, your kid's life, and maybe even your grandkids' life? Would you do it? I think you would. How about if you did a 9-pack? Because that gets you 1,100 hash. Right? 1,100 hash. And you think about, 450 times 11. It's like $50 a day. Would you invest one time $8,955 to get over $18,000 a year? Would you? Every year for the rest of your life, your kid's life, your grandkids' life? Would you do it? And here's the funny thing. You have the opportunity to grow the hash and make even more. Yeah. By the way, how long do you have to pull off this little trick? Maybe as little as 6 months. And then mine may be done, maybe over. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. It is an absolute runaway freight train in Texas. If you haven't looked, 15,000. We hit 15,000 late Wednesday. It's not even, 36 hours later? We're already 15,550. We're going to hit 16,000 on Saturday. Wow. Guys, it's not going to be long. There's going to be 1,000 people a day. We're sitting here we're averaging over 300 people a day, every day, signing up. Next week, 3 days from today, the first mega mine gets delivered to Victoria, Texas. Following that, Mansfield's getting 2 mega mines. And then following that, I don't even know, we got 30 more to go. Yeah, it's insane. The largest independently owned mine in the world when it comes to crypto will be right here in the United States. The only crypto-only mine in the United States. Think about that. It's only mined in Texas.
Let me add one thing, Joe. Let me add one thing that also makes this incredible. For people that are envious of what Bobby Gray is doing, let's just say rich guys that could actually build their own mine, they're not going to be against this. They're going to be salivating. Wait a minute. Build your own mine? They're going to support this. Other guys that are in this space that haven't thought to go through the steps that Bobby's gone through, they're going to support this. And I'll say this, Joe, I love the community we've built around Texacoin because somebody else is going to do this.
Yeah.
The mine will be sold through, and then the next one that's copycatting. I know Bobby Gray wants to do another one himself. We're going to be able to have eyes and ears all over the place. Joe and I are going to get all the comments coming from you guys that are going to be looking for new places to put this Texas money, and then we'll come up with the next one. I'm not stopping at Texacoin. I'm thinking, okay, where's the next one, right, Joe? There'll be another one. Does it take 6 months, 2 years? And then we do the next one, Joe.
I'm not. Listen, there's a bunch of stuff coming. I can't say it yet. Get in, and let me go through these numbers again, because I'm a numbers guy. You're telling me that you're not, and this, listen, every week, this thing is less of a risk and less of a risk and less of a risk. Wait till these mines come online over the next 8 weeks, over the next 12 weeks. It's going to be insane. People are going to be like, holy crap. Oh, this wasn't a Ponzi scheme. This wasn't a pump. They actually effing did it. When I tell you we've got a warehouse full of the best mining equipment you can buy in the world. Oh, we're just waiting for the boxes. That's it. That's all we're waiting for. And they're in the ocean. They're in the ocean. One of them is getting ready to be put on a pad in Victoria, Texas on Monday. They opened up a window and said, hey, if you buy a 9-pack, not only do you get the 1100 hash, right? They give you 9 plus 2. They give you 2 more, what I call pay centers. 2 more boxes. They're empty, but they're right below your main center. You can turn those on. What do you mean? I could have 3 centers generating Texas coin? Yep. We call it the 27. By the way, that's 11 in your main box, and 11 in pay center number 2, and 1100, hash 11 seats in pay center number 3. That's 33 times $4.50 a day. But wait, because of how Texit does things, you get a bonus of 600 more hash or 6 more seats. That's 39 seats at $4.50 a day. That's $175.50 a day on average. I mean, Jason, that's $64,000 a year. What does it cost? $26,865. Most people say, wait a minute, I'll give you $27,000. At the end of the year, you give me $64,000. That's a great deal. Yep. That's a great deal. What do I got to do? Nothing.
An asset that doesn't shut down on weekends and bank holidays.
Right. But how about this? Here's the funny thing. What happens next year? Well, here's another $64,000. Wait, I had to pay $27,000 again? No. I didn't. No. And what about the next year? Here's another $64,000 and another. Did I have to pay anything? No.
Every day.
Every stinking day. You bust your butt. Think about this. How many of you actually have $500,000 in your retirement account? Probably not very many. You busted your butt for how long? When the mine is full, this deal's over. You can't get coins every day. All you can do is buy the ones that are out there. That's it. It's a totally different way into crypto. Get in. The earlier, the better. You can upgrade. Those of you that don't have 9 packs, you got to the end of the month to upgrade to get those other 2 centers. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason wrapping this up. Do not let the weekend go by without calling. We've got gold below spot today. $20 gold pieces, $33.40. Gold is $33.44. $10 pieces. $10 pieces below spot, $16.70, right? 2 tenths equals a 20, $33.40. 800-951-0592. And then, of course, the Texit opportunity. For those of you that didn't start out with a 9-pack, now it's your chance. By the way, I keep forgetting. We got this big meeting Wednesday at the Deer Valley Air Park. 7th Avenue in Deer Valley. It's going to be another packed house. I do need you to RSVP, please. So I want to make sure that we have enough room, enough food. 5:30 to 8 Wednesday. We are going to show you how to sell and turn your Texit coin back into cash. 5:30 to 6, we're going to feed you. And then from 6 to 8, we're going to have the meeting. Please RSVP at 800-951-0592. Bring some friends. Don't let your friends miss this. At least show it to them. Right? At least show them, hey, you guys got a shot here with us. Here's the thing. Why is this meeting so critically important? Because there's still a risk here. Within 6 months, you're going to have enough coins to get your money back. A lot of us, me included, hey, I'm going to take some money off the table, at least get my investment back. If I'm going to throw $27,000 at it, and there is some risk, I want to. You're not going to walk away empty-handed. You're just not. But that is what that meeting's all about. And guys, I'm just telling you. Just telling a couple of friends. You're signing up your wife, your kids. It's incredible what it can do to your hat. You can double the amount. Could you imagine? And by the way, Bobby started talking this week. They've got we're on the plan from 2 cents to $16, which ends in February. Phase 2 is $16 to $100. How long is that going to take? I don't know. I think Bobby's thinking 6 months. Yeah. By the way, at $100, you don't get $4.50 a day anymore per coin. You get, per hash, per 100 hash. You're going to get $9.50 a day. Put those numbers to the test. Right? Wait, you mean I'm not going to make $64,000 or $18,000? Nope. How about $38,000? How about $135,000 a year? By the way, there's phase 3. What's phase 3? 100 to 1,000. How long is that going to take to 2027? By the way, I was told the other day, stop saying the mine will be full by the end of 2026. It is going to be full much sooner than that. So, guys, here you go. You can do it here. You can do it with Jason. You can, however you do it. Call here. Call the radio station. We don't care. 800-951-0592. God bless everybody. By the way, the Texas Hour.